Now, Stefan and Hamish, touching on some of the points raised by Robert, markets are becoming faster and faster. Latency is the name of the game. There's more and more data because markets are becoming totally electronified, if there's such a word, which means that the data rates are getting higher and higher and higher. Stefan, your company specializes in low latency. Is it both exchanges and market participants, or
it is mainly exchanges and MTFs, so all facilitating technology exchange or trading systems. And here, yes, latency matters and speed matters. So volumes in terms of number of orders per second and the thousands of, actually millions of orders per second, that's one angle. The other part is latency. And the race to zero latency is clearly something which quite a few exchanges have this on their punchline. So I'm the fastest exchange. I have only
or the fastest trading engine.
Or the fastest trading engine. So that's clearly the goal. Again, that said, when it comes to the entry point to an exchange, from that onwards, all the orders, all the messages should be treated in the same way, no matter which gateway has been used for that. So the connection between the gateways to the matching engine, that's actually something where everyone should be treated in fair and the same manner. That's what I mentioned about fairness. Not only in the lowest possible latency, but also who comes first gets the first.
And that's where the regulator has a very strong interest to make sure that the market is fair and so on. I guess, Hamish, that you're are you on the opposite side of that in terms of your aiming on the broker side in terms of systems to handle this? It's low latency data.
Yeah, I mean,
is that fair to say? Or?
Yeah, it's interesting in a way because we've worked both on the exchange side on many of these systems and on the sort of broker or the member side. It's always fascinating to see sort of the requirements and the points of view of people on sort of both sides of that equation. Just touch briefly on the low latency bit. I mean, in terms of the technology to build software to handle higher throughput, higher volumes of data, and absolutely, I mean, volumes have just been going up and up and up over the years. And we've done a huge amount of work in terms of both our market data platforms, trading platforms, our own matching engine, to look at being able to ensure that we can have as low latency as possible. But I think what I would say is not every application necessarily needs low latency. And in any project, you should at least identify what your latency requirements are, which sometimes doesn't happen. It's not necessarily an automatic assumption that a particular system has to be low latency, given the amount of effort, not necessarily just in building the software to handle that, but in maintaining, fine-tuning, optimizing systems on an ongoing basis to meet those sorts of low latency requirements. So having that early identified an early point is quite
well, I guess another point here is that, and Robert, this is where you're coming as well. I know that one of the things that you do some work, I think you're related to the National Physics Laboratory in terms of clocks, like a clock and data. Are you involved in that sort of thing, where you have to have a clock signal that the whole market uses to ensure that timings are universal in terms of universal time?
Well, certainly it's my privilege to be a humble participant on the National Timing Center Program Steering Committee, which is led by the National Physical Laboratory. And I think many on this webinar may know, but people are often surprised to learn that in 2020, the IOSCO, the International Organization of Securities Commissions worldwide, agreed that the timestamp for all financial reporting worldwide would be UTC, which is otherwise, GMT, that people know, Greenwich Mean Time. But what's important about time is the fact that it allows us to sequence events, and it therefore gives us the ability to have time priority in order books in order to maintain a level playing field. And it also means that in the event with technology, as much as people invest for resilience, we always need to anticipate somewhere up and down the value chain, whether it's at a member or a market operator, there may be a technical glitch, and therefore one needs to be able to communicate the last good time stamp at which orders that were sent received acknowledgements and you knew they were good. Afterwards, where it's uncertain, you can purge the orders and then allow the members to reconnect. So time is absolutely pervasive everywhere. But where I think time is very interesting is if you take a look at 2010, when the U.S. markets had their flash crash, and as a consequence, there was a very well done report, The Future of Computer Trading and Financial Markets, led by Sir John Beddington and the Government Science Office, where many of us were actually very privileged to participate, and you were involved in that as well. I think what it came out as a conclusion is that actually high frequency, high speed trading can be done safely and give benefits to investors. And I think Stefan and Hamish would probably agree, while not everybody is a high frequency trader, those that are doing high volume market making are able to more comprehensively look at and manage their risk, and as a result contribute liquidity that has narrowed bid offer spreads, it has narrowed implicit costs, ultimately benefiting institutional and retail investors. But we've also had then innovations to do electronic block trading and other execution channels to help investors get their business done. What I would finish on is to say that because time helps us sequence events in databases, actually those events can be linked to the legal contracts that confer confidence. And one can see the future of where contracts can be further authorized, authenticated with precise timestamps to help people do more business with more confidence. Thank you very much.